Today, we're going to be going super, super deep into leadership. And the reason we're doing that is because there's this book that's called Linchpin. It's by Russell Brunson. And it talks about like, basically, if you want to create something great, you have to look at the market and see where there is something missing. And in today's market, something missing is leadership, right? You have to recognize that leadership is such a scarce resource in today's market. And if you want to do something great, you have to conquer leadership, because leadership is going to show up for yourself, for your team, for your relationship, for your family, everything else in between. If you can show up as a better leader, you will build something great. And today I'm going to dive into a whole bunch of stuff. So I'm going to be talking about some key points, things I took away from Minecon with David Goggins. If you don't know David Goggins, he's an absolute freaking animal. He's a ex-Navy SEAL, did Hell Week 3 times, ran the Moab 240, which is 240 miles of straight desert solo. So he's an absolute beast. His mindset's insane. And I'm just going to pour into you guys on what I've taken away from Minecon, what I've taken away from a bunch of not sales calls, weekly coaching calls with Andy and his team. I have 18 rules of leadership that Andy deploys in his team, plus action items for you guys to get. 5 action items that you guys can take and install in your companies, whether you're an employee, whether you're the owner, whether you don't even own a business, or you're freaking retired, I don't care. Things that you can employ to just live a better life and show up as a better leader. So the biggest thing that I took away is why you need a leader, right? And that could be a leader for your relationship. That could be a leader for a personal trainer in a gym. That could be a boss, like whatever. You just need someone to look up to, right? And why we look for leaders is because we look for specific patterns. So Patrick Bet-David said, patterns plus formulas will make you successful. So number 1, you need to find someone with a pattern that you want to replicate. Number 2, you need to duplicate that pattern. Number 3, you need to recreate your own version of that pattern and install it. It's very rare that a business is built by creating something completely new. It's usually different iterations and optimizations of a current business that is doing well, and you just fine tune it to make it better or make it your own. Okay? We did not invent marketing. Ford Media did not invent marketing. What we did is we took a framework, installed it in our own business, and it's crushing. No one in here created their own painting, right? You guys didn't whip up, create a paintbrush. You didn't, develop paint. You're installing a pattern that you saw a successful business, and you instill it in your own business. Okay. So you need to do the exact same thing if you're looking for a leader. If you're looking for a coach, if you're looking for a mentor, you need to find a pattern that you want to replicate and install it. Okay. Now it's knowledge plus performance minus leashes equals results. And I'm going to break that down. So knowledge plus performance minus leashes equals results. Okay. So knowledge, of course, is knowing how to, right? How to paint, how to run a business, how to be a best leader, right? You have to understand the theory behind it. Performance is you have to install it. You can't just have the knowledge. You can't just know how to ride a bike. You actually have to go out and ride a bike. So the performance and the leashes are the limiting mindsets that are going on in your brain. Those are the constant mental battles that you're facing, right? So a leash is a limiting mindset. So you need the knowledge, you need the performance, and you need to get rid of those limiting mindsets. And that's exactly how you're going to get results in whatever you do. Knowledge plus performance minus leashes equals results. Okay. So like I was saying, leadership is a depleting resource in today's economy. If you want to do great things, you need to be a great leader for your team, for your family, for your spouse, for yourself. So if you guys are all looking for book recommendations, there's a book from Napoleon Hill. It's about the devil. I forget the exact name of it, but it's basically the devil's the person putting those limiting mindsets in your mind. The one that's telling you, I shouldn't wake up at 6, I should go back to bed. The one, I shouldn't go for that run, I should do this. But Napoleon Hill, he's the guy that wrote Think and Grow Rich. Insane book, insane author. Another one is Linchpin by Russell Brunson. Okay. So why do we want to become the best leader possible for our team, right? Because at the end of the day, you attract greatness only when you can become great. If you are not great, if you are not ready for growth, you will not be put in a position to have the growth. If you are not a great leader, you cannot attract greatness. Okay. So something that David Goggins did is he said every day his aim is to kill the old Goggins, right? He wakes up and kills the old Goggins because that's the bad habits. That's the limiting mindset. That's the person he calls it the little bitch in him that's telling him, don't wake up, don't do this, go eat, go drink a smoothie or milkshake or go eat some powdered donuts. That's the limiting mindset. So he needs to kill the old Goggins and recreate himself daily to show up better and show up as a better person as he was yesterday. So basically what you need to do is just how can you recreate yourself? And that's through constant development. That's through physical training. That's through so many different platforms, but you need to look at how can I show up better than I was yesterday? And you will become a better leader. Okay. So 18 rules. The first rule that Andy Elliott's team deploys is you need to encourage open feedback. If you do not encourage open feedback, that is because that is your ego talking. If you have an ego, you will not be open to growth. Okay. Something we did, something we implemented, is something called a employee satisfaction survey. Okay. We also send it out to clients called the NPS survey. But essentially, what that's for is to encourage open feedback. Now, we have a discussion with our whole team today just to talk about everyone kind of, it was all fully anonymous, right? So we just want that open feedback. We don't care who it's from, but if someone's feeling some type of way, we want to know. So we're going to be deploying this every single quarter of the open feedback survey within our team. And ultimately, what you need to do is not just do that survey and forget about it, but we're actually going to be implementing it today. So we have a company-wide team meeting today, and we're going to be implementing a lot of the things that people brought up and opened up and expressed to us about how can we make Ford Media better. So we're going to be, we just remove the ego and we're just implementing based on action rather than emotion. So you need to encourage open feedback in your company. Number two, you need to have fun with your team, okay? It's a business, but you need to look at how you can have fun with your team. Courtney on our team just deployed the coffee breaks, which is every 2 weeks we're meeting with the team because we don't talk anything business. We just talk about how we can just basically get closer, right? So there's, I think 3 questions where you get to know your colleagues better. You're put in a group of 4 to 5 people, and you just ultimately talk about anything but work, right? You don't talk about work. You talk about random questions like, what's your best freaking movie that you've ever watched, or best food, or whatever. Aiden, you're right. Courtney is great. So that's an initiative that Courtney deployed on this. Angie deployed the last Friday of every single month. We're doing a Friday game, right? So we're taking like 30 to 45 minutes to do some type of game. And the reason to do that is because you have to have fun. You have to encourage your team to have fun. They're not just there to work. They're there to be a part of something. That's a part of a community, a part of a culture, a part of, a team. And you need to look at how you can have fun, because if it's just hustle, they're going to get burnt out. Number 3, you need to make them feel appreciated and heard, okay? Like I said, you are not building the business. Your job is to build the people that are building the business. The only way you're going to do that is if you make them feel appreciated and heard. Number 4, you need to promote healthy competition, okay? So Andy does this with his sales team, and the goal of healthy competition is not to push other people down so that they fail and you succeed. It's to help raise everybody up. And that's why I say healthy competition, because it's not like you're going to steal somebody's lead, or one of your sales reps is going to call one of their, someone they're about to do and steal their commission or whatever. You need to promote healthy competition so that we can hold ourselves to a higher standard, and we can have our team hold themselves to a higher standard. We say team because any team is based like a performance, right? A soccer team is based on performance. The only way you're going to do that is through healthy competition, right? A soccer team or a basketball team, it's not that they don't want the other person on their team to score. Is that they want to make sure that they try and score a little bit more while not kind of interfering with their plays, right? So you need to promote a healthy competition, not to have others fail, but to push everyone higher and have everyone succeed. Andy's team, number 5, does this, is lean into humor, okay? Like I said, you need to make it fun, okay? It's if you're all hustle, if you're all professional, if you're all just showing up just to get shit done and do work, you might be productive, but you are going to face burnout. Humor is a great way to open up that honest feedback, build, camaraderie in the team, and ultimately just have a better time, right? Sam is awesome at that. Sam shows up with humor. Sam loves making jokes, whether that's with clients or the team or whatever. Lean into the humor with your team, right? Because humor builds stronger connections than if you're just hustling or if you're just doing shit, okay? Number 6 is leverage music for energy. So before I was here, like I said, I was doing push-ups and I was getting all freaking riled up, but I was just cranking music because music increases energy. If you think back in like the 1700s, okay, before they'd go to war, they have war chants. They have the drums and all that shit hitting because that fires people up. It gives them energy, right? The quietness, that doesn't give people energy. So you need to leverage music for energy. And I'm not saying crank heavy metal, right? Courtney's into heavy metal. So I'm not saying crank heavy metal. You can listen to Christian gospel or whatever you want to do. It doesn't have to be just like hype up music, but energy does instill some type of, music does instill some type of energy. And you need to leverage that. So if you have an office, play some music, okay? Play some music, get everybody fired up. If you have sales reps going door to door, Sam, when you had your sales team, what'd you say? You played like, 50 Cent? You just have them cranking 7 people in a car and get everybody fired up, drinking Red Bulls, and they go out. You leveraged music to increase energy. Okay, that's a huge play.
Hey, real quick, before we get back into the video, if you are running a painting, an epoxy, or a concrete coating business and you're saying to yourself right now, Lucas, I am done playing it small. Lucas, I am hungry and I'm ready to grow and I'm ready to scale my business this year. Then listen up. If you want my team and I to help you fix that, if you want more qualified leads into your sales pipeline, if you want more high intent appointments into your sales calendar, and if you want more high ticket jobs, shoot me a quick text at 602-833-5079, and I will personally reach out and set up a game plan to help you turn your yearly revenue into your monthly revenue and help you dominate and scale your business right now. I hope you're enjoying the video so far. I appreciate you tuning in, and I look forward to helping you scale your business this year. Let's go.
Number 7, this one I think, in my complete opinion, is the absolute most important. You need to hire for company culture, okay? You need to hire for character and then train for skill. Skill is great. Andy's team, they're extremely impractical when they do interviews. So what they do, someone gives them a resume, they throw it out and they just judge them based on their character, okay? They have different questions, a line of questioning. And actually during the interview process, what they do is on the second or third round interview, they actually have the person, the employees or the prospective employee's spouse come in and they drill the spouse on how do you handle your husband or how do you handle your wife when they come home with having a shit day. And the reason they do that is because if your wife or your husband comes home and they're having a shit day, are you going to say, hey, you know what? You don't deserve this. Go quit that job. Or are you going to say, get your ass back out there and go fucking do some shit, right? Go do what you're going to do. There's a problem. Go fix that. And I'm not saying you have to do this, but the reason they bring the spouse is because you have more conversations with yourself than anybody. They want to judge you based on your character. You have more conversations with your spouse than you will with your teammate. So they want to judge you on your spouse, right? They want to make sure that people could be professional interviewers. They could be so good at interviewing because they've done it so many times. And then they show up after the interview and they're not that good. So they judge you based on your character, not your resume and not your skill. So hire for character and train for skill. Number 8, I've said this before. I'm going to say it right here. You aren't building a business. You are building your people to build your business. Okay? Micromanaging, jumping in for small nitty-gritty shit is not going to help you scale your business. You need to put more trust into your team. You need to advocate for your team and empower your team to make the decisions, because there's a saying in the 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership by Stephen Covey and John C. Maxwell that says leadership is a game of multiplication. So I want to instill as much leadership opportunity into Sam, so Sam can now create his own sense of leaders. So there's 3 phases of leadership. Number 1 is turning yourself into a leader, right? Showing up as a leader for your team, for your family, everybody. So number 1 is turn yourself into a leader. Number 2 is creating leaders. Okay, now your job as a leader is to empower and create other leaders in your company. And number 3 is empowering leaders to create other leaders. So now that you've created leaders, you want to empower them to create even more leaders. Okay, Tommy Mello, who owns A1 Garages, they do roughly $240 million a year. He didn't do that by micromanaging every specific thing in the business. What he's done is created leaders who now create other leaders, okay? And then those leaders hold themselves to a higher standard. So you are not building yourself, all right? You are not building the business. You are building your people to build your business, okay? Number 9, you need to personalize the culture. If you guys don't have core values, you need to get core values. These are what you're hiring employees for. These are what you are training employees with. And this is what you are rewarding your employees with, and what you're firing for, right? You have to have core values because that is the standard of what it's like to be in your business or part of your business, for your team, for your employees, for your clients, anybody, right? You have to have your own culture. What's really important is that your culture is not what you want to have. It's what you currently have and is apparent from outside, okay? It's not something like if you're not religious and you say God first, right? That's what you're hoping to have. That's not what you currently have. And if you don't have it, how can you expect to train and hire and fire based on that if you don't exhibit yourself, or if your team doesn't exhibit yourself? Otherwise, you're just going to have to fire everybody and just find people that follow God, right? So if you don't currently have that core value, don't put it on your list. It's what's apparent to everybody else from the outside. I have an awesome exercise after that I'll share on how you can successfully find your core values. That's going to be in the action steps after that I'll go through. But if you guys don't have core values, I need you to take a note right now and say, I need core values. Okay. Core values are absolutely huge. Any company that's successful has core values. Okay. Number 10, you need to create initiation rituals for newbies. Something that Andy does is it's kind of like a hell week with his team, right? He tries to treat his team like a military. They all wear Team 6 black, everything, right? But he tries to create like a hell week. So it's different initiation rituals. And once someone goes through that, it's essentially like they're a part of the team officially. Okay. This is something I know that we need to build in our own team, of course, but it's an initiation ritual. So similar to if you've been in a what's it called? A sorority or a fraternity, right? They have initiation for the rookies coming in. And once they go through that, once they pass that, they've successfully became a part of the team. So Andy has his whole team go through some type of initiation rituals in order to become a team. So you need to instill that for all you newbies, whether that's a painter, right? That could be super small things, right? I'm trying to think of ideas here, but it could be super small things, just slight rituals, whether that's, go tape out the whole house yourself or things like you can really get creative with it, but some type of advocacy that someone has to go through or an action they have to go through in order to officially be a part of the team. Number 11. Monthly contests / spiffs. Spiffs are sales performance incentive funds. Okay. So like I was saying, you want a healthy competition. So you want to incentivize healthy competition. And again, it's not to take away from everyone else. It's not to put them down or have them fail. It's to have everybody lift up. So monthly incentives are awesome way for sales or team culture, everything like that, just to have some type of ongoing thing, right? What Andy does is for it could even be something small, like for Andy's team when he did Minecon. What he did is whoever sells the most ticket gets this, or it could even be something like bragging rights or whatever, right? Or for Sam, right? He's about to hit the sales record for us for the month, and what he wants is a steak dinner and a double high five. Okay, so we're incentivizing this type of thing, and you need to make this at scale in all of the departments, and that's something that we're also incorporating. That's something that I've found is very loose that we don't have, and that's something I want to incorporate. Okay, so basically, SPIFs, Sales Performance Incentive Fund. It doesn't need to be specifically for sales. It could be for production or whatever, right? So it could be a combination of things. Number 12, incentivize what you want replicated. Okay, if someone's doing an action that you like or that you enjoy, start incentivizing that specific action so that you can now have it being replicated in the company, right? That could be something like getting a Google review from a customer, right? Getting a 5-star Google review. If you really want Google reviews, which I highly recommend that everyone here goes out and tries to get Google reviews for the business, whether it's painting or roofing or marketing, I don't care. You need Google reviews because that helps with SEO and that helps with the trust factor, okay? So, for example, is you do $50 per Google review. You want to incentivize the things that you want replicated, right? Where a production manager, their goal, you can incentivize them to get a Google review, and all you do is pay $50 and it helps them out, right? You want to incentivize what you want replicated. So number 13 is you want to celebrate beyond revenue, okay? It's not just revenue you're chasing. You want to celebrate behaviors as well, okay? If someone on your team pushes themselves and they go to the gym with you at 7 a.m., celebrate that behavior, okay? It's not just a specific revenue. Wins are not tied to revenue, okay? It's tied to behavior and how your team shows up, not just for the team, but for themselves. And you want to celebrate that behavior, right? So an example of that, Sam Giroux. Dude, you just went on a freaking 10-kilometer run and you're building up to an ultra, I think it's 80 kilometers. That is a behavior you know damn well we're going to celebrate it for immediate, because that is a behavior that is so inspirational. Dude, that fires me up that you're doing that. Okay, so you want to celebrate behavior, not just revenue. Number 14, send handwritten cards. Okay, Angie was telling me that she did this with her past clients when she ran a painting business, but basically by sending handwritten cards, it's something that's a little bit more of emotional, where the owner, operator, or the sender of the card actually will hold on to it a little bit longer because it's more of an emotional attach. Anytime we send a gift, I make a note of it to always write a handwritten card. We just sent all of our team basically welcome bundles, and all of it had a handwritten card. Now, I don't know. I don't care if they held on to it or not, but I do know that it's better than just a quick text, or it's better than a printout generic message, okay? A handwritten message is a little bit more personal, has a little bit more emotion to it because people hold on to it, right? Angie was saying she sends all her clients, or when she ran a painting business, she sent all her clients handwritten cards because they are more enticed to hold on to it, or they're more enticed to actually read it rather than just a computer scripted Canva, whatever, right? It's actually a handwritten card. Handwritten cards are huge. And don't just send them to your clients, send them to your team as well, okay? I promise you that they'll appreciate it much more than a typed out computer one. Okay.
Hey, real quick, before we get back into the video, if you are running a painting, an epoxy, or a concrete coating business, and you're saying to yourself right now, Lucas, I am done playing it small. Lucas, I am hungry and I'm ready to grow and I'm ready to scale my business this year, then listen up. If you want my team and I to help you fix that, if you want more qualified leads into your sales pipeline, if you want more high intent appointments into your sales calendar, and if you want more high ticket jobs, shoot me a quick text at 602-833-5079, and I will personally reach out and set up a game plan to help you turn your yearly revenue into your monthly revenue and help you dominate and scale your business right now. I hope you're enjoying the video so far. I appreciate you tuning in, and I look forward to helping you scale your business this year. Let's go.
Number 15, surprise your team. Build memories with them. Keep them on the unknown. You don't want your team to know what you're capable of, okay? Basically, what you want to do is just constantly surprise them, constantly show up, constantly do something, right? And by doing that, you keep them on the toes. You don't want the consistency. You don't want them to feel like you're comfortable, complacent. You want to show up for them and surprise them with positive things, okay? What that can be a multitude of things. That could be showing up now on Fridays with donuts and then show up on Tuesday with donuts, or take someone out for lunch or whatever. Just surprise your team. You don't want them knowing what you are capable of, but you want to keep inspiring them and keep having them like recognize that you are capable of so freaking much. What Andy did is he was in Dubai for 2 months, okay? He came back, surprised his team for an Easter celebration where he had everybody over for a weekend. He wasn't telling anybody that he was coming. He just showed up, everybody came. And what that does is it surprises everybody and keeps someone unpredictable, okay? And basically, if you're predictable, that means that there's consistency. I'm not saying don't be consistent. I'm saying be unpredictable for your team, for your clients, for your spouse, everybody. Just be unpredictable. Don't let them know what you're capable of and get them by shock, okay? Number 16, connect personally, okay? True leadership is about taking care of the people in your charge. Leadership is not being a boss. Leadership is how can I best serve the people that I am working with? How can I make their lives easier? How can I continuously serve them at the highest degree possible? Okay. Being a boss is being someone with a huge ego. Being a leader is completely different. Being a leader is showing up and telling them, hey, how can I make your life easier? If you're doing this, like, do you want me to jump in? Like, serve them at the highest capacity possible. And I promise you that they will appreciate that much more than just setting firm deadlines or being a boss. But no one wants a boss. They want a leader, right? Because at the end of the day, people will work for their mentor over valuing money. Okay. How many times have you seen social media influencers or whatever, when they recruit people, they come in because of that level of mentorship? Alec Hormozy gets offers all the time for people to treat them for lunch, but he knows that they're just using it for mentorship. Okay. So it's not like it's a goodwill gesture. People will work for their mentor and they will continuously follow the mentor if they look up to you as a leader, not a boss. Okay. So if you want people to follow you, give them something more than just monetary value. Give them something intangible that they can't get elsewhere. And the best way to do that is leadership and mentorship. Number 17, you need to have the hard conversations. Okay. If there's a conversation that you're delaying right now, whether that's an underperforming person or someone that's not fitting your company culture, you need to have those hard conversations because you don't know what the heck is going on with them. There could be stuff going on outside that you can't know. Their grandfather could have passed away and that's showing up, but you're not having that hard conversation with them. So you will never find out. And you just assume that, they're possibly looking at working somewhere, or they're just not as driven as when you once hired them, right? But there could be so many external factors that if you're not having those hard conversations, how are you going to recognize if someone needs your help? They say the person that is struggling the most in your company is the one who needs the most leadership. If someone's struggling or someone's underperforming, it's not because they don't fit. It's because you are not giving them enough leadership and support in order for them to do the best job possible at your company. So if you guys are avoiding hard conversations, something really, really good that Andy was telling us and Jackie were telling us was conflict delayed equals conflict multiplied. If you're not having a conversation that is because you're scared of conflict, that delay of conflict is actually just getting multiplied because that could give you resent or that can give them resent. All that's going to do is just multiply the consequence of that conversation. So conflict delayed equals conflict multiplied. If there's a conversation that's hard for you to have and that you need to have, go out and freaking have it, because all that's going to do is allow you guys to get stronger. If there's a conversation or a conflict, all that's going to do is they say pain and suffering is actually what gets people closer. Okay. Relationships, the best relationships you've ever built are because there was some type of pain or suffering that you went through at one point or another. If you're delaying that conflict's just going to be multiplied and it's going to show up in so many different avenues. And you could lose a top producer just because you're not having that freaking conflict resolution or that conversation or that conflict. Okay. You could be missing out on so much freaking revenue, so much, growth just because you're scared to have a freaking conversation. Number 18, you need to hold your people accountable. If you care about your people, you will hold them accountable. If you had a boyfriend or girlfriend that said, I want to get in the best shape of my life, would you just not let them do that? Or if they told you they want to get in the best shape of their life and then they go out to freaking McDonald's and get 5 different burgers, you are not helping them get there. They're telling you that for a reason, okay? You are not helping them getting there. You need to hold them accountable and you say, no, you know what? We're not going to do this. We're going to go make a salad instead. Or we're going to go for a run, okay? If you hold your people accountable, they will hold themselves to a higher standard, okay? But in order to do that, you need to hold yourself accountable first, right? If you're not saying what you're going to do, or if you're saying what you're going to do and you just do the complete opposite, you're not holding yourself accountable. That does not make you allowed to hold your team accountable if you can't even hold yourself accountable. You need to show up as a better leader for yourself, for your team, and then everybody else afterwards, okay? So hold your people accountable. Your goal here is to build 10s. You want to build 10 on 10s in your company. You don't want 2s, you don't want 3s, but the reason those 2s are not 10s is because you haven't spent enough time developing them. You haven't held them accountable enough to go through the system. If you don't have the systems, that's a completely different conversation. You can't expect someone to build a chair if you don't give them a freaking plan to build a chair. You have to give them all the resources they need to grow and to develop, right? And then once you do that, then you need to hold them accountable, okay? What you want to do is you want to build as many freaking black belts in your company as possible, right? You don't want white belts. You want black belts. You want freaking killers, right? You're not going to do that by treating everybody that's a white belt like a black belt, all right? You can't have them roll with a black belt because they'll just get crushed, right? And then you say, oh, he's an underperformer. No, you just haven't invested enough time and energy into this person to build them out to be the black belt that they're meant to be in your company. So don't let your ego get in the way, guys. If someone's underperforming, always look internally and say, have I provided this person with enough resources? Have I provided this person with enough, opportunity to grow? Have I done the best job possible as a leader to have this person grow, right? Are they not performing because it's on my end? Have I not provided everything that they need to do the best job possible? Or is it a culture fit? Or is it a character flaw, right? That's a completely different story. But before you go into those conversations, you need to look and hold yourself to a higher standard, hold yourself accountable, and have you done everything possible to set this person up for success? First action item, to be a better leader, I need you to write this down. What is one thing that you can do this week to invest time and pour more energy into your people, right? Your aim here in leadership is you need to clone the founder's fire. Your goal is to build as many mini yous as possible. My goal for media is to build as many mini Lucases as possible, right? Obviously, I have so many freaking character flaws. I'm not perfect. I'm never going to be the perfect one. But my goal is to freaking clone the founder's fire, clone my fire into each one of my team members and build mini Lucases as efficient as I can, right? So what is one thing that you can do this week specifically to invest more time and more energy into your people? Write that down. Number 2, what is one conversation that you are avoiding right now? Write it down and take action. Conflict delayed is conflict multiplied. A great kind of idea that I like to think about is to really, frame my mind on this is if you had to do something for your business right now that would not hurt anyone's feeling, what would it be? Okay? If you could take all of your emotion out of yourself right now and take one specific action, what would that action be? Number 3, I need you to write down your core values. Okay? I need you not just to highlight what you want, but highlight what is apparent from the outside. Okay? I'm gonna give you guys some quick action tips. Just write them down and then action them after. Yeah, Jabber, I'll drop that. I'll drop that here. The second one here. So, what is one conversation you're avoiding right now? Write it down. Take action. Conflict delayed. Conflict multiplied. If you had to do something for your business right now that would not hurt anyone's feelings, what would it be? Cool. Number 3, write down your core values. What are they? So, these are things that are apparent in your company right now. These are not things that you strive to become. Okay, so a little tip here that can help is if you could basically clone three different people besides yourself into your own company right now, right? Any three people. If you could just clone them and have a bunch of those three people over and over and over and over in your company, the top producers. First of all, who would those three people be? Second of all, what do you like about those three people specifically? Write them all, put all the options on a whiteboard, and then group which ones are common, right? Those are your core values. Those are the things that you want to incentivize and replicate throughout your company, okay? So find the three top producers that you could clone and implement like as many times as you want in your company. You know that with these exact three people, you can freaking go to war. What do you like about them? Put all those options on a whiteboard, see which ones are in common. Those are your core values. Then what you need to do is measure the rest of your team and give them a plus or a minus to recognize if they have those core values. Because if those three are the only ones that have those core values, those are not your core values. Those are just basically three things that you want to replicate, right? But those are not your core values. What you want to do is measure it across the rest of the team. Number 4, stop trying to be liked. This is a hard one for me, right? Stop trying to be liked. Not everyone's going to like you. Your goal is not to show up as a best friend. Your goal is to show up as the best leader possible. Okay? Your team is going to hate you at points. You might hate your team at points, but at the end of the day, you need to show up as the best leader possible. And those hard conversations are not going to be bad things. Okay? Those hard conversations are not going to have people hate you and despise you. Those conversations are needed because the pain and suffering is what gets people closer. And you want your team to be as close to you as possible, right? But not too close in the sense of you don't want them to be best friends, right? Camaraderie can kill your trajectory, right? Because then emotion gets involved and you're not making decisions based on data or performance. You're making basically emotional decisions, which is no good for anybody. You don't want emotional decisions, but you do want camaraderie with your team, okay? So don't kill the camaraderie, have the camaraderie, enforce with camaraderie, of course, lead with them, build, relationships, ask about their girlfriends, their freaking dogs, or whatever. Build the camaraderie and relationships with your team, but do not let that camaraderie kill your trajectory. You need to also hold yourself and your team to the highest standard possible, okay? You need to set the standard. So action is just recognize, hey, I'm not going to be liked by everyone. I'm not going to be liked by all my clients. I'm going to get some shitty reviews. I'm not going to be liked by all my team, right? They're going to say some shit behind my back, but who cares, right? Part of being a leader is building a community and culture that follows you. Part of doing that is you're also going to have a community and culture that freaking hates you, right? Like any political company out or any political group out there, there's a conservative, there's a liberal. Liberals love liberals. Conservatives hate liberals, right? Doesn't mean that people in liberals are not leaders, okay? So it's just basically you need to build your culture to be enforced with camaraderie, but not let that camaraderie cloud your emotional decisions.
Hey, real quick, before we get back into the video, if you are running a painting, an epoxy, or a concrete coating business and you're saying to yourself right now, Lucas, I am done playing it small. Lucas, I am hungry and I'm ready to grow and I'm ready to scale my business this year, then listen up. If you want my team and I to help you fix that, if you want more qualified leads into your sales pipeline, if you want more high intent appointments into your sales calendar, and if you want more high ticket jobs, shoot me a quick text at 602-833-5079 and I will personally reach out and set up a game plan to help you turn your yearly revenue into your monthly revenue and help you dominate and scale your business right now. I hope you're enjoying the video so far. I appreciate you tuning in and I look forward to helping you scale your business this year. Let's go.
Number 5, you need to give your team clarity on your vision. There's a saying that says people will leave a confused leader. If the leader is confused, they don't know where the fuck the ship is going. All right. If you're the captain of your ship and you're just telling your team to freaking row, they're going to get burnt out. They're going to get tired and then they're going to freaking leave. Why? Because they don't know where they're going. They don't know the destination or where you're trying to take the boat. Okay. So you need to give your team clarity on the vision. Once you do that, I promise you will get to your destination much quicker because everybody's rowing for the same thing. Everybody's pushing for the same thing. You need to give your team the clarity there. All right, guys. Those are the actions. Those are the points. Those are the rules of leadership. But at the end of the day, what I need everyone here to recognize is that leadership is not a position. Leadership is not a title in your company. Leadership is a mindset. Leadership is how you show up for yourself and your team every single day. All right. So what you need to do is recreate yourself. Okay. What got you to the point you are now is not what's going to get you to the next point. What got you from $0 to $1 million is not going to be what gets you from $1 million to $10. And what that comes down to is the strength of the leader. Okay. So what you need to do is completely recreate yourself, kill your ego. Everybody has flaws. This next coaching call I'm going to run in 2 weeks. I'm going to have some case studies. I'm going to have some action items, and I'm going to have some things that you need to ask yourself and implement to recognize these flaws, and make yourself the best leader possible and show up as the best leader possible. So I have case studies, examples, questions, things like that we're going to be going through on the next coaching call next week, or in 2 weeks, sorry. And ultimately, guys, like I said, leadership is not a position. Leadership is not a title. I don't care how much you make. I don't care what your title is, but a CEO of a company could be a shitty fucking leader, and a janitor could be an amazing leader. Who cares about their title or position or how much they make, right? Leadership's a mindset. It's how you show up for your team. Cool. Let's end it here. I'm going to drop this document into our Facebook chat or whatever. If you guys message me on Facebook, if you want it, just let me know. I'll shoot it over to you with all the rules and the action items. But I need you guys to take action. Leadership is one of those things that you're just always going to need to develop, and you're always going to need to get better and better and better. If you have your ego up, if you think you're a perfect leader, I can promise you that you're not, and you're going to push away the people that are helping you build the business, because your goal as a leader is to build the people that are building the business. You're going to push those people away, and then you're just going to be flopped in your ass, and you're going to be in the exact same position as you are 20 years from now or worse, right? So if you really want to do something great, you need to be great first, right? Attract greatness, be great. And I would say, if I can, Joel likes to do this. I'm going to do this one too. Is end this on a quote. Okay, I put this, you've probably seen this on my Instagram if you follow me on Instagram or whatnot. But you need to sacrifice for what you want, or what you want becomes the sacrifice. If you want to build a business, you need to freaking lose your ego. You need to recognize, I'm not a perfect leader. I have so many things to do. I need to attract the right people. I need to build the people. Only way I'm going to do that is if I build myself. So sacrifice for what you want, or what you want because of sacrifice. So with that, we're going to end it there. Have a great day, guys. I'll shoot this over to you. Message me if you want it. Thank you for jumping on. Hope you guys got some value. And I'll see you guys in 2 weeks, where I'm going to give you guys some case studies and actual tangible things that you can implement for your leadership. So have a great day, guys. I'll talk to you soon.